Yo,
Welcome
what is
everybody.
happening?
How you doing? We're on.
Hey, good afternoon. Happy Friday.
Hey, it's the weekend.
Yes, it
I,
is.
I hate to do I hate to do this. I got to start the show this way, Kerry, because this isn't a
Okay.
typical show that we do. Okay, we usually don't like take
Oh, excuse
apart
me.
somebody, but in this situation, it has to be done because this I'm going to use the term woman when I really want to say idiot. Okay, um, it, and I'm using the term woman. Sorry about that. These are all like uh what are they like Medicare benefit calls and stuff like that from scammers. Anyway,
Is that
so
you?
what I was
No.
saying that Gary, look, I hate to turn you down when you call, but stop calling my house.
I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
um,
Can't help it.
so this idiot, okay, at some point, listen, let me let you hear it first, and then we'll go through a breakdown of it, okay? Because I
Yeah,
think that's
judge
the
for
best bet.
yourself, right?
Yeah, let me bring it in. Okay, so here we go. And I want to thank Sky News because they always have like the best clips. But this is the only clip I could find of her, so I'm using it from Skynet News. Here we go. You
Yo,
ready? Lefty,
good luck.
listen to this chick. Listen to what she says.
So let's talk about where the word good morning originated from.
First off, it's more
Good
than one word. It's two.
morning. All right, so during slavery times, when the women used to
Tom,
mourn about their child being taken away and sold to a
took it.
different
No
slave
such word.
master,
It's
or
taken.
if one of the family members did something that resulted into them getting whipped or killed, most of these things used to happen in the evening time. So
Oh,
it
come
was
on. They
their
have
way to
whenever the
make
slave
fun
master wanted to
of the
do it.
black slaves crying that night prior.
I know there
So
was
they
no
would
time
ask
limit.
them, did you have a
No.
good morning?
And the last thing
Did
the
you have a
slave
good
owner ever
cry?
was
And they would laugh
embarrassed
about
to
it.
have to find
Y'all
a
know what
way
morning
to
mean. All they did was
to
take the U off of it. So nobody
make
would
fun of the
think
slave
about what
because
it
they didn't
really
want to hurt the
originated
slave's
from.
feelings.
It
I
was
mean,
really
come
a
on.
mockery towards black slaves.
I'm sorry. I'm going to do this one more time. Hold on. I just want to do this one more time. I want everybody to hear it. Or actually, I'll stop it as it's going. You ready? So here we
Whatever
go.
school she went to.
So let's talk about where the word good morning originated from.
Stop. Okay, stop. Okay, so she just
Originated.
said, wait, no, no. She just said, let's talk about where the word good morning came from.
It's
She's
two
now
words.
going to go good, right? She's now going to go good morning. She's going to stress that it's two words, but she just said one word. This is someone who has not gotten out of sixth grade, okay? And if she did, they ought to go back and they ought to sue the school because she has no vocabulary knowledge whatsoever. Her English is horrible, absolutely horrible. It's and the thing she learned how to do was put on makeup. That's all she ever learned in life. She's a moron. Good morning. Listen, first off, let's start off with good morning, okay? Before she tells you what the fake story is. The real story behind good morning can be traced back to like the 1400s, medieval England. And what it was farmers back there would get up really super early in the morning. Okay, you know what I'm saying, Kerry? They
Right.
would get up super early in the morning. So before they would leave at night, like if they were out with socializing or whatever,
They're up
people
by
would walk
two.
away. It actually started at night, and they would say, "Have a good morning." And the reason they would say that is they meant have a good, productive farming morning because that's when you had to get everything done. Okay. Eventually, it progressed to where there weren't as many farms, but you still had the term "good morning." So people would wake up in the morning and they would just go, "Oh, good morning." It's just literally a dressing, an
It's
addressing
meant
of
right, and it's meant to be like happy. Have a nice morning. Be
yeah,
happy.
has nothing. Listen, if a slave owner, okay, took the slave's feelings into consideration that they had to hide their way of making fun of them, okay, they wouldn't be a slave owner because they would already have looked at them as human beings. And that's what the problem was, that slave owners didn't look at them as human beings. Okay? So they would have just went over and said, we took your baby. They're not gonna go over and go, good morning. What kind of fucking idiot are we dealing with here? Okay? So good morning is two words. Let's start there. Let's get back to what she's gonna say next and then I'll stop it again. Okay, here we go.
Good morning.
Yeah, one, two. Two words, not one word.
All right, so during slavery times, when the
During slavery
Tongues.
times, you notice she's not giving you any dates. You notice she's not giving you any dates. That's important because what this is somebody telling you a story. And she's telling
and,
you the story that she was told. There's
and she
nothing
said,
factual about this. I'm telling you right now, if you look this up, because I did, If you look this up, it gets traced back to 1450 Middle England. Okay, and that's where this all starts. Middle England didn't have slaves back then. They had like serfs and shit like that. Like they had more like people who were working land for a landlord. Anyway, okay, let's get back to this.
Women used to mourn about their child being taken away.
Okay, women used to mourn about their child being taken away. Taken. Let's start there. There is no such word. Okay, it's taken. Taken, not taken. So you expect me to take this amazing piece of history that you're teaching me from you, and you don't even know how to describe it. You don't even know how to describe it.
She got a good education.
Yeah, no joke. The reading, the 3 R's: reading, writing, arithmetic. It's unbelievable. And as far as slavery, as far as babies being taken away and stuff, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it didn't happen consistently on that level. Families, usually what happened is if a slave family grew, it stayed within the slave owner's family. So if John Smith owned 3 slaves, two of them were a married couple or not married couple, but they had a baby or whatever. They don't come and take it away. It's not fucking 1940s Germany, all right? They don't come and take it away.
Right.
It's not the time when Jesus was around when they were trying to kill the firstborn. That's not what we're talking about. Number 2.
Right.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that any form of slavery or taking a child or even leaving a child in a slavery position is good. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is she's totally inaccurate on every level. And the sad part about this is where it's going to get. This is where I'm going to go later on. But this is the contagious factor to it. Because what happens is you have people now who can get someone to say what they want to hear. Whether it's true or not does not matter. Once a person now hears what they want to hear, that becomes the absolute end all be all of the truth. Because it's what they like. So they're going to push what they like.
Yeah.
And somehow we've gotten to a point where we no longer believe that facts are true. It's, oh, you've got to let me know your truth. You've got to let me know this one's truth. No, there is only one truth. Okay. It's the truth. Okay. And the problem with this is that they believe that the light's half out in the eyes, man. The light's half out. I don't mean to say it, but the light's half fucking out. All right. I mean, this chick's as dim as a fucking 15-watt bulb. All right.
I know. Look at her. You just look at her. You know she ain't too bright.
She's got to be maybe 17 to 22, somewhere there, and yet she has life all fucking figured out. She's amazing. She knows everything. She knows about the 1700s. She knows all of this stuff.
Sure.
But
and
what I'm saying is,
listen to her vocabulary. She's great.
Oh, she's phenomenal. But my point being is that
she was in high school for 7 years.
She's an epidemic in her own way. This is my point. She's an epidemic in her own way because she's going to go to her group of friends and she's going to tell this stupid story because it's going to get her attention. And that's all she wants, attention.
And they're going to believe her.
They're going to believe it. Right, exactly. And then they're going to tell 2 friends. And it's like that fucking shampoo commercial. And so on, and so on, and so on. And that's what the problem is. Let's finish listening to this again now.
And sold to a different slave master, or if one of the family members did something that resulted into them getting whipped or killed.
Okay, so do you really believe that if the slave master whipped or killed a slave, that he's then going to turn around and say, how can I make fun of this without them knowing I'm making fun of it? Why would he give a shit? He just killed the guy. He just whipped the guy. You think he's worried about what his words are going to make you feel?
No.
You think he's going to pick something so outrageously far from it, meaning good morning? He would have said, how's your fucking suffering? He would have said, your husband just got the shit whipped out of it. He's not going to fucking turn around and go, oh, let me make some sort of analogy. How's your morning? M-O-R-N, not M-O-U-R-N. It's just so fucking absurd, man. All she's doing is pandering to more hatred, to more fucking misunderstanding.
Ignorance.
Right. And the sad part is, as I said, a lot of people, it's going to become factual, and that's
Mhm.
the scary part.
Most of these
Right.
things used to happen in the evening time. So it was their way to make fun
There
of
was
the
no
black
limit.
slaves crying that night prior. So they would ask them, "Did you have a good morning? Did you have
Think about that. Think about that. That's what they were concerned with. That's what they were
Now,
concerned with.
first of
Good.
all, they didn't care what time it was, day or night.
You got beat. Whether all you had to do was the wrong thing, and you got beat. Ask LeVar Burton. He was Kunta Kinte, okay, for about 15 minutes, and then he became Toby, okay?
Yep.
They didn't turn around and say, are you mourning now, Kunta Kinte? No, they said, your name is Toby. He said, no, Kunta Kinte. They went, what? He said, my name is Kunta Kinte. What? He said, my name is Toby. That's they don't give you that much fucking thought if you're a slave. That's like me saying to myself that my dog, I have to worry about what I say to my dog because I'm worried about his feelings. So like I can't turn around like every now and then, my son will goof around and say something nasty to the dog, something like I'm sorry, my headphones give me a problem. Anyway, my son will say something nasty to the dog, but he'll do it in such a way he's really trying to get under my skin, and I get it. But he'll say it in a way that the dog doesn't understand it, because the dog really understands inflections of your voice. So if you go, oh, you little shithead, oh my God, the dog don't understand that you're calling it a shithead. It only understands the inflection of your voice is kind. And so it reacts happy. Even though you're calling it a shithead, it doesn't know you're calling it a shithead. Now, these slaves, these slaves are very uneducated, okay? They weren't sent to Harvard and all these places. So there's a lot of words that these educated slave owners could have used that they would have never known. They would have never known if they really wanted to do it. Good morning is not one of them. It's one of the most benign phrases that I've ever heard in my life. Good morning. And if that's the case, if that's the case, where did good afternoon come from? How can you make that racist? Or good evening? How could you make that racist? It's a triple play, okay? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a triple fucking play, okay? It's not good morning, good bury your friend, good your friend's in the hospital. It's good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's wishing somebody a pleasantry. That's what it is. But you got morons like this right here who can't fucking so much as understand how to be pleasant to somebody. So anything you say to this chick, the guy who marries this chick is in for like fucking hell. Unless, I'm serious, because she's as dumb as a rock, and her expectations of life are so out of the realm of reality.
Listen, the guy that has to marry her has to be deaf.
Oh my God. Okay, let's go back and listen a little more.
Right?
Dude, I deaf, I couldn't handle it.
Have a good cry? And they will laugh at me.
Did you have a good cry? No. No slave owner ever cared whether a slave had a good cry or not. You know what he cared about? Did you pull 15 barrels of cotton or 25? If you pull 25, you ain't getting whipped. If you pull 15, you might get whipped. That's what he cared about. He didn't give two shits if you cried or not. If wow. Hold on.
I don't even know what school she
Y'all
was.
know what morning mean. All they did was take the U off of it.
You know what morning means, okay? So think about this a minute. Morning, morning. I know exactly what it means. It means the beginning of the day, okay? So taking it at face value, which is what I'm going to do, I'm going to say it means the beginning of the day. She's adding a U. So why don't we take anything we don't like and see if we can add letters to it, like Scrabble, and see if we can get points that way. I'm sorry, I'm about to beat my dog because I'm so angry. I don't mean to. I'm only kidding. I love my dog, but he is a pain in the ass, much like her. Anyway, okay. I'm sorry. What else?
Dog's better.
Oh, absolutely. My dog understands that everybody's the same. This chick will never understand it. She will never get what?
The way she talks, man, is uneducated.
Well, you know what's funny is, and this is what really gets me. Well, you know what gets me about this is, in her mind, The only slaves that ever existed were African American. And the
Right.
sad part is, if she really looked through history, okay,
Right.
Jews were
Everybody was a
slaves,
slave.
Irish were
Everybody.
slaves,
Right.
everybody was slaves. And when I say everybody, most were slaves to their own people, and that includes African Americans.
Yep.
Like somebody, maybe it was you that was telling me about the story about the lady who was saying that they came in and they stole them from their houses and this and that.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
what happened. That's
I
not
just
what
told
happened.
you.
What happened was your kings sold your people,
Sold them.
sold the people,
Right.
sold them for gold or whatever they had that they wanted. That's what happened.
For
I'm
food
not
and
saying,
everything.
well, don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not saying it never happened that they went in and took somebody out of the house. But if something like that happened, it generally happened during like some sort of war or some sort of takeover or something like that.
Right. Right.
It wasn't
Right.
like the white man showed up in Africa and started taking people by boats. Because let me tell you something, the African
Right.
people were not weak people, all right, and they were on their land, okay.
Right.
So
Right.
if they really wanted to stop them,
They
believe
could.
me, they could
They
have
could
done
have.
it. They could have. We
Sure.
didn't have we didn't have AR-15s at that time, okay. We had single shot weapons, okay.
Right.
We didn't
Right.
have any of that stuff, okay.
Right.
So don't tell me
Yeah.
about how they went in there and they took. Actually, in reality, the African people had a huge, what's the word? A huge advantage because they knew the terrain. We didn't.
Yeah.
You know, the Europeans didn't know the terrain. So the
No.
Europeans didn't know they were walking into lions.
Right.
The
That's
Europeans
their.
didn't know where the snake pits were. They didn't
Right.
know where any of this stuff was. So let
That's
me tell
their.
you something.
That's their home
Okay,
turf. That's
right.
their home
So
turf.
so it wasn't in like a war thing where they walked in and they stamped on all the grounds and all of the shit with their fucking tanks and this and that. They didn't have that. Okay, they didn't have any of that shit. Okay, this was
No.
basically hand to hand shit that went on. Yeah, they might
Right.
have had a weapon that shot, bullets or whatever, but it wasn't AR-15. They weren't shooting 22 rounds. It was probably a musket type of thing where it shot one and then you had to pound down in gunpowder again. So this is all a bunch of bullshit, okay? And the African people had their own projectile weaponry. So they
Yep.
had bow and arrow, they had spears,
I was just gonna
they had a whole
say the
bunch of stuff.
spears, bow and arrows,
And
axes.
we could not have sent enough people
No.
there to
They had machetes.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is, Kerry, we could never have sent at that point in time, at that point in history, we could never have sent enough people there to overwhelm them because that was their country and they had the numbers on their side. So the only way we got slaves was through negotiation. And who negotiated them? Their kings. So that's a bunch of bullshit too. Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, and again, I'm not saying it didn't happen that during takeovers and whatnot that somebody didn't go in there and take look, it just happened in Israel where they went in and took the hostages. If
Right.
this was a different point in history, those wouldn't be hostages. They'd end up as slaves as well. And not that some of them haven't. Some of them have been sex trafficked, so it's not just African Americans, it's everybody. At one point, the Irish weren't dogs were welcome in establishments more than
Right.
Irishmen. Okay,
That's right.
so it's Chinese, the same thing. Okay,
Mhm.
Chinese were railroad workers, and they worked with the African Americans, but they were a step below because they weren't as intelligent, according to the people of that time.
Right. That's right.
Okay, let me go a little further now.
Yo, you know what college you went to?
I have no idea. What? Please be a joke. I would love to hear a joke on this. All right, hold on. Here we go. I'm starting it.
So nobody would think about what it really originated.
Now wait. I wanted you to see something here. Watch her face when she smiles, because she don't even believe what she's saying. And this is where you become a body reader. Watch her face when she smiles.
Night prior. So they would ask them,
I'll
did you
show you
have
exactly
a good
where.
morning?
Now right there. She don't even believe this shit. And I'm going to show you why. Watch her face.
Did you have a good cry? And they would laugh about it. Y'all know what morning mean. All they did was take the U off.
Right. Watch here.
So nobody would think about
See right there. That was it. That's what that said is, I don't even believe this shit. I just need people to watch me right now. I need people to tell me how good I am and how smart I am.
What it really originated from. It was.
Where's your facts? You're telling me this is where it originated from. Where is the facts? Show
I
me
like,
something.
I like to know
Show
what
me,
book.
yeah, show me a book where it's even like, where it says, during the 1700s, slavery, the slave master had to show me where somebody other than a moron says it. Just anyone other than a moron. Get fucking Big Bird from Sesame Street to say it. I'll put more validity into it than what I'll put it with you saying it. Because in my estimation, all you can do is take fake hair, nails, whatever, and put that on in a semi-decent manner. Your brain is obviously not working. So if you're using Q-tips, you're pushing them in too far. Okay? This is just absurd, man. Hold on, here we go. So remember that smile, because that kind of plays into the rest.
It's really a mockery towards black slaves.
What?
What is she holding up?
How much more could you mock a slave? Think about it. You're a slave. You're doing the bidding of a master. And the thing they think is going to mock you is by saying good morning. I mean, why don't we fight? And what I'll do, Kerry, is I'll give you a wet willy while you hit me with a bat. Why don't we do that? I'll hold him and stick it in your ear while you hit me in the head with a bat. That's the
Now
equivalent.
listen. You know I like the wet willies.
I know. Yeah. I'll do it with really, really warm saliva.
Thank you.
Hey, you got to lube up before. But then that ear's mine, man. I'm going to destroy it. Anyway,
Yo.
but she's just fucking ridiculous. Let's see what else she has to say. I don't even know.
Wow.
No, that's it. I can't. I just
Wow.
can't take it, man. I just can't take it. And then, like,
Well,
what?
I like to know what book she read because I could go to the library and check it out myself.
But it's
And
not even just her. It's not even just her. There was a commercial out a while ago about depression. Okay, and during the
shit.
commercial, they had a bunch of kids. Okay, and like it was a group of Spanish kids, and they were like, why are you so depressed, man? And they get to the black kid, and the black kid turns around and goes, yo, man, why are you so depressed? He goes, yo, man, he goes, yo, you gotta let that shit go. That's a white thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard,
But
yeah.
it was perfectly okay. Now, if I turn around and I go, yo, Kerry, why are you so depressed, my man? And you go, well, you gotta let that go because that's a black thing. Automatically, what I'm doing is stereotyping black people, and that would
Yep.
be wrong. But it's
Mhm.
okay because it's the white people. Everything is okay to be done to the white people.
Mhm.
Okay. Listen, the same people who put you in slavery were your own color and were white, because that's who eventually got, the slaves. The same people who
Wow.
got you out of slavery, was white, okay, and your own color as well. You had like, um, Martin Luther King. I can't think of her name. The one that was on the bus. I can't think of it anyway. Um, and again, I'm not disrespecting her in any way. Under normal circumstances, I could
Wait.
come up with a name. I
Uh,
know it. I just can't think.
Rosa
Rose
Parks.
Parker, right? Rose Parker, Rosa Parks, Rosa Parks. Yeah, it just took me a minute. It's not that
Rosa Parks.
it's not that right, and it's not that I'm disrespecting or anything else, because all the more power to it. I believe. Listen, the one thing about me is I believe we all get treated the same. Period.
That's right.
That's the way it is. But you can't have equality until everybody is treated equally, which is why
Now
affirmative
with these
action
people
doesn't
around.
work. Okay.
Right.
No, well, like
Now with
we
people
tried
like
this
that.
thing, right? We tried affirmative action, and it doesn't work because on a lot of levels it doesn't work. Because, and I'm not saying that the people who got the jobs weren't qualified. I want to clarify that. What I'm saying is it's a possibility that people who didn't get the jobs were more qualified. And when you're
Mhm.
talking about jobs like
Mhm.
pilots, when you're talking about jobs like doctors, when you're talking about jobs, and even lawyers to some
How,
degree, because
how about the
your life depends
maintenance?
upon it.
How
Yeah, I
about the
mean, just
maintenance people?
yeah, anything along the line of where somebody's
Yo,
life could be in jeopardy.
yo,
You know,
look at that airplane, that door that came off.
loose bolts, loose bolts. You know, but what I'm saying is like you really have the only way we can actually succeed as a people is to succeed. And we can't succeed without our best people doing the jobs that they're meant to do. So if you're taking someone who's a 75% at a job over a person who does 100%, That person who does the 100% might come up with more innovative and
Well,
more
look, my
what?
brother, she's that lady, that girl there is gonna be a professor in history.
Yeah, right. She probably would. That's the sad part. The sad part about it is if hey, look, I would put her to the likes of Jean Pierre, of Kareem Jean Pierre, whatever her name is, KJP.
Right,
And I don't see much difference. The only thing is with KJP, she actually is very intelligent, but she's got to stop bullshit for the Biden administration.
right.
And she doesn't have now where I have the issue with her is she doesn't have the integrity to give up the job, which is what I would do. Before I would go out there and lie to the American people, I would give up the job because I just can't do that. And to tell you the truth, she would be about a billion times more famous for doing it. She would
Yep.
get jobs. She would get job offers. She would get book offers. But her problem is that she doesn't have the confidence to let go and go for something else. But
Oh,
it's very similar. They're very similar people. Anything JP gets called, she just. This one would have with this one, I would almost bet, is that some old guy somewhere was sitting down and with her, and he just wanted the company of like a 19-year-old girl or something like that for a half hour. So he
oh,
started telling her, listen, this is what actually happened. And the idiot, instead of going and checking it out, ran home and was like, I know something they don't know, and threw
right,
on her friggin' phone and
right.
said, this is the way it is, and this is the way you got to feel. And it's morning MOURN. No one has ever thought of that. No one.
No,
It doesn't exist.
no.
As I said, as far back as I could trace it, okay? And I tried. I went back to the 1400s, Middle England. I think that's pretty damn far, okay? That's as far back as I could trace it. And if you actually, I'm not bringing up like books and stuff like that, but do you know how long like kings and queens have had people coming and going, "Good morning, sire," and it has nothing to do with slavery. There wasn't even slavery in that area of the world. But this chick is looking to create a bump in the road for racial
Right,
division. I mean,
right,
she's trying to divide more racism.
right.
I can't tell you why. The only thing I can think of is she just strictly wants attention. That seems to be what the millennials want. Now the
Right.
bad part about this again is the fact that it's contagious, and it gets to a point where she says she heard something she liked, so now she spreads it, and the next day somebody else will hear it and like it and tell it to
Mhm.
somebody else. And today our kids or our millennials are not really intelligent. And I'm not saying they're not educated. There's a big difference between education and intelligent.
Yes,
They're
there is.
educated. Well,
Yes,
they're
yes,
educated
there is.
according to the education system of today, which is more worried about your fantasy world. They're more worried about
Big,
your fantasy
big
world,
difference.
what you believe. Okay, if you believe it, it must be true. This is what it is. It's the George Costanza method of life.
Yeah.
It ain't a lie if you believe it, and that's
Mhm.
what they're at. And the sad part
So it's
about
a
it is people.
big difference, man.
Yeah, and the sad part about it is it's the easiest thing to create an epidemic of because you're giving people something they like. It's like if I turned around and I said, with no factual evidence whatsoever, if you eat ice cream today, you're going to live an extra 10 years. Well, everybody would run out and buy ice cream because it's what they want to hear. If
Right.
I turn around and say you got to eat kale for the next 3 years and you'll live an extra 10 years, nobody's going to do it because they don't want it. Not, and the fact is, one of them is true. One of them is true. Kale is going to clean your colon out. It's going to clean. It's got vitamins. It's got ice cream is going to clog everything up. But you'll do the ice cream because it's what you want.
You want to know
People
something?
want to eat what? You just had
Right.
kale.
Yeah. No, right over there on my shelf, I got the books. I got some history, on all of this stuff, Civil War, slave. Let me
Right.
tell you, man, this lady's a joke. That that
Absolutely.
that that girl's a joke, man. There's
Can
not
you
one
send us?
thing. Yeah, there's
Can you
not one
send
thing
us
she said in there is right. I like to know
It's
what books.
fantasy.
I like to know what books she's looking at.
Yeah, it's just fantasy. It's straight up. Can you send those books over to her? I'll pay the postage.
I I got plenty.
Please, please, because
I get more.
really, And it
No,
really gets
I
me.
got books on the civil rights. I got everything.
Well, the part that gets me the most about it, to be honest with you, is just the idea that there are innocent minds out there that she's
Hmm.
going to corrupt.
Right.
And the sad part is that one corruption in their mind
Hmm.
is
Now,
going to create such a ripple in their life,
you're right.
and it
Because
doesn't have to.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say to our listeners out there, if you got young ones, you're young yourself. Listen, don't listen to her. Pick up a book. Don't even listen to us. Pick up a
Don't even
book.
listen to us. Find out for
Right.
yourself.
Right. Go.
Check the
Do it.
facts.
Listen, that's what I did. The last 2 years, I went to the library. I got books here. Believe me, I do a lot of reading. Okay.
2 years ago, my buddy Kerry here wasn't really constitutional knowledgeable. He wasn't knowledgeable about the Constitution, and I started like telling him a little
Right. Very
about it.
little. Very
And
little.
next thing he did was bring me a copy of the Constitution. I swear that's true. That's not even a joke. He brought me a copy of the Constitution. So when my
But
guy
man,
here tells you, wait, let me finish. When my guy here tells you that he checks shit out, he's not kidding. Okay, he's not kidding. So what happened was he had an issue at his job, and they wanted to throw his stuff out in the street. They wanted to literally open his locker. Now, when you start a job,
yeah,
they
brother,
can't.
bro,
What?
there it is.
No, I'm telling you, I know. When you start a job and they give you a locker, that's meant for
That's
your
the truth.
personal private stuff. So the only way they could actually clip that is if they fire you. He wasn't fired; he was suspended. If you want to see it, it's in one of our other shows, by the way. And they turned around to him and they said, "Well, we're going to take your stuff out of the locker and we're going to send it to you." And I said, "Kerry, they can't do that.
Not even
It's,
that. They were gonna put it in right outside right outside in
it's
front of the
illegal.
building.
Right? It's illegal search and seizure. They can't go into your locker because you're still working there, so it's still your property. And suppose you had something personal in there. Suppose you had, a double-ended dildo. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
It's
Suppose
a
you
fourth.
had
Right.
yeah. Suppose you had something in there that you didn't want them to see, or medication even. Let's say you were diabetic and you didn't want them to know you were diabetic because it might affect your job or the way they viewed you. So you have the right to not have this be made public. So, and this is why you're working there. If you're not working there, they can clip it. But he
Right.
was still working there. So I said, Kerry, there's no way they can do it. He got in touch with his representative and said, you can't do it. The guy goes, yes, we can. Yes, we can. He goes, go check your lawyer. Go check with your lawyers. Oh, what? How long later? How long did it take before he
Well,
got back to you?
the best part, yeah, he got mad. He goes, "You don't know nothing." I said, "Listen, go talk to the lawyers. It's my Fourth Amendment right." Fourth. I said my Fourth Amendment. About a day later, he gets back and says, "I can go pick up my stuff."
You gotta know, you gotta do your research. So after that, Kerry realized how important the Constitution was and went and learned everything about it. So
I
now
got
if
the
I have a
book.
question about the Constitution, I go to him. Um,
I
but
read
yeah,
it
yeah,
right
dude, I'm
here,
telling you.
right
And
there, people.
God, yeah, and in reality, that's the sad part is that the people that this one interacts with will not go and check the facts. They're just gonna go. What it is. Somebody's gonna be talking in a group and whatnot, and they're gonna want to tell a story to make them look intelligent, and this is what's gonna come up. And the truth of the matter is, it's just bullshit.
Right,
Nothing more than that. It's just literally bullshit.
right.
You know, people. I hope you give it the amount of weight it actually deserves, because honestly, this woman should not even be given a camera or a platform to speak
No,
upon.
no, no. She should not
If
be
she
teaching.
if she came out and she said, "Listen, I don't know
She should
how
not be
true this
preaching.
is," Kerry, the first thing for me is if I don't know something, I say I don't know it. She
Same
should have came
here.
out here. She should have came out here and said, "I don't know if this is true. This is what I heard," or she should have came out and said, "This is where it factually says this, and
Right,
this is where history factually reports
right.
that we Good Morning came from this, that, and the other thing." I don't know.
Well, just like I did.
Anyway,
I
I,
did my
I think I'm
homework.
done with her. I think I'm
Do
done
your
with her
homework.
anyway. Yeah,
Right,
exactly. Just make sure your facts are correct.
right.
All right. I think is there anything any more you want to say, or should we end it? This was going to be a
Oh,
quick one, 3.5
no,
hour.
brother. I just can't believe two different things is right. Education and intelligence. Oh my God.
Oh, stop that!
Two different
I,
things.
I gotta show you, dude. Wait till you see. I got a boom mic now. Check this out.
I
I got
can't
a
believe
boom
it.
mic. Look at this. With the
All
it's a
right.
floater. Hold on. And I got the boom for it here. I got the boom for it here. So it's gonna like
Oh,
twist and move and shit. And then
nice.
I'm gonna hook up the old laptop, and this way we can um check the facts and stuff like on the
Nice.
fly. So I can just punch into the other laptop, and I'll
I
be
got
able to
my
check
mic.
any sort of
Hey, I got
nice,
my mic.
nice.
Good.
Yeah, it's gonna be like hanging in front of me like this, like.
Almost like remember Rowan and Martin?
It's gonna, yeah, exactly. It's good. I was thinking the KRP, but yeah, exactly.
Look,
Hey, and now back to our show.
there you go,
That
bro.
was Gary Owens. That was Gary Owens,
There
the
you
guy with
go.
the glasses. Yeah,
Oh,
Gary Owens.
you know who passed away just a couple of weeks ago?
Oh,
Remember the Smolder brothers?
yeah, I know.
Tom.
Dick.
Tom.
Tom? No. Yeah, you're right.
Tom's
It was. Yeah, you're
Tom.
right. You're right. Right. Dick is still alive. You're right.
But I like this
Um.
one from Rowan and Martin, right? The guys on,
Yeah.
you know?
And now back to our show. All
Yeah.
right, buddy. I'll talk to you later. You have a great
Okay.
day, and I think that was a pretty cool show. I
Yeah, it
hope
was,
that
man.
people get a kick out
But
of it.
listen, people out there, go get a book, look it up, library, order them online, go read, do your own facts.
Also, if you're watching this, do us a favor. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you like us ripping into people like this, because there's enough of them out there we can do it with.
Oh my
And it'll
God.
always be over the most stupid shit. We're not just gonna pull something out of thin air just to throw a show up. It's got to be something that really affects us. And as we always say in the past, if you need any repairs done and you happen to be in the area, Yorkville Repairs, phenomenal place. Derek McShane's the owner. We also, our usual Shriners Hospital. If
Saint
you got some
Saint
extra
Jude,
cash, do it. St. Jude, Wounded Warriors,
tell,
anything along
tell
that.
for tell.
Listen, we don't put down any sort of. We try not to put down any sort of charity. All we ask is that before you actually send your money to them, just look them up and ask what the percentage of the donation goes to
Right.
the actual afflicted. It's an easy look up. Just type it into
And
Google.
listen, and if you have extra, throw it to the Kerry Fund.
Yeah, carry an ed fund. That's not a bad one either. Well, we don't have
Kerry
a way to receive it. Maybe we should do that. That's not a bad idea, actually. Not that I think anybody's going to send us money, but on the outside,
my,
chance some
for
millionaire
my
is watching this
for,
and wants
for
to
my
send us a
legal
little
aid fund.
cash.
For
Yeah,
my
no,
legal
really.
aid fund.
No, we could do. I think we have to do it through like a cash, like Venmo or something like that.
Oh
I'm not
shit.
really sure. I don't know much about that stuff. I didn't get into this really for that, so I didn't really look much into
Wow.
it. But like if somebody wants to, listen, I've seen it happen on other shows, so it could happen here, and we're not asking for it. But if you do it, you do
Ah,
it. Like anyway, we could
that's
also do
funny
these
though.
things I noticed something called super chats where you can actually do a live show and you can have people talk to you on a live show, but they got to send you cash in order to be able to talk to you. So they send like $2 and they're able to put up like a line of and then you answer it, you read it and answer it and stuff. I don't really know about this stuff again because I didn't get into this. I'm sorry, I'm just
Nah.
adjusting. I didn't get into this really for that, so like I don't know much about it, but I'll look into it because the truth of the matter is it does happen, and we're not asking for anything, so why not? But as far as the other things, all I ask is that whatever charity you pick, make sure that it's a viable charity who actually
Yes.
gives the money to the
Yes.
afflicted. That's the
Look
important
into it.
thing. Is that
Right.
like I know for a fact that Wounded Warriors is like 98%.
Yeah. Saint
It goes
Jude.
to the afflicted, right, and then 2% goes to administration.
Right.
St. Jude, I can't swear if it's 95 or 96%, and
Oh,
then
you're right.
4% goes. But you also have to remember that you got to take into consideration how big the charity is. If
Yep.
the charity is huge, it's going to have a higher administrative cost. It just
Mhm.
can't help it because you got to have more lawyers, you got to have more this, more that. So don't judge them on that. If it's a huge charity and it turns out that they're 94%, that's pretty excellent. Okay. If it's a smaller charity, like Wounded Warriors is big, but it's not as big as like the Heart Foundation, and that they're able to keep it lower. And also what they
Right.
do isn't
That's
really
another one.
research and stuff like that. It's more building, a correct habitat for an injured individual. That's kind of what it is. Of paying off loans and stuff. So they're not worried about being sued, like where a research
Right.
company might be. So you have to take all that into consideration. Let's make it an even 90. If it's a score above 90, they're good.
That's good. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, like Ronald McDonald, House Shriners, St. Jude, Wounded Warriors. You get it. Anyway, guys, we love doing the shows for you. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're going to get better. I'm telling you. I'm going to hook this place up like you wouldn't believe. I'm going to be able to pull up. It's going to be like a little TV studio.
Yeah,
Guys,
yeah.
have a great night. I
Have a
hope
good-
you enjoy this. Guys, well, you go and then I'll go. Go ahead.
No, you said have a good weekend. Be safe.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get another show in this weekend. Dude, this is
Oh.
pretty easy. We should be doing.
Enjoy the 3-day week because Monday's Martin Luther.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm actually. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm off next week. Do you want to try to hit the studio?
Yeah, next Friday.
I was thinking during the week.
Yep. I'm free.
Wait till you see what I did with Mandy, dude. I took Mandy to a whole new place. Oh my God, it's fucking amazing.
Yo, it's another good song.
What?
I can't smile without you.
Oh yeah, but how? We could do like the girl from like they did with the girl from from Brady Bunch. We could take the Can't Smile and then wah, you know what I'm saying? But I took the other one to a totally different place. Now it goes like this. It goes. I remember all my life, raining down as cold as ice, shadows of a man. You get it anyway. But I'm telling you, it's totally different, and it's all like AC/DC type chords. It's pretty cool. It's really pretty cool.
You know what?
And what else did I work on? What?
It's good. It's good too.
What?
You got a bass player now.
Yeah, I was working on a Highway to Hell. I was working on. Hey, wait, listen, hold on. I don't know if I can do it now. Sure, I probably won't be able to, but I was gonna. It's like. Wait, I'm sorry. Let's do it. No, we there. Season ticket on a one-way ride. Ask you another. I'm done. I think we'll have a really good time. I was working on it on the SG, on the Gibson SG. It sounds pretty good. Yeah, I can't wait, man. Tell Keith I'm looking so forward to it, man.
Yeah.
I swear, I can't wait to hear what we sound like with an actual bassist. Anyway, the other one goes like this goes.
It's gonna be different.
I remember all my life. Raining down as cold as ice. Shadows of man face to a window, crying in the night. Night goes into the unknown. That's Barry Manilow.
But we got this thing. We're gonna do some jamming. I know it's gonna be fun. 2 hours. Dude,
I miss you. We ain't hung out in so long. I really miss you. Anyway, all right. Have a great day, pal. I'm shutting her down. In 3, 2, say goodnight, Kerry.
Good night, Kerry.